Hello everyone. So I hope everybody might have watched my previous video and you all know who am I. So this video will be all about how I cracked various level of interviews and how you can ace it as well. So as you all know, I have already did my interview specifically in auditing field. I actually cleared 3 interviews at the time of pandemic. First one was Grant Thornton, another one was BDO, and finally EY Big 4. So this will be the first part of my sequence where I will be describing about different type of questions and what is the major difference in the interview questions when you specifically give in the accounting, taxation and auditing field, specifically in different types of firms. Maybe it is a Big 4 or a Big 5 or a Big 6. So you will be able to get to know what is the interview process and how you can also tackle the one. So this will be the first video as I also gave my first interview in Grant Thornton. I was hired as an audit associate level. So I will be describing about what are the different questions they ask, what was the sequence and what is the process, how I was able to crack it at the time of the COVID. Also, as a tip, I will be suggesting you some of the ways where you can also grab one. So let's begin. Yeah, usually during the time of a COVID, I landed into a job at Grant Thornton from LinkedIn itself. The most important tip I wanted to give here is LinkedIn is a very important and crucial role it plays in your life. Here you can definitely connect to the HRs of various companies, maybe it's a Big 4, Big 5, Big 10, whichever you feel to. But you can directly contact them and you can also various HR post on their timeline regarding the job vacancies available. So it was a time where the job vacancy for an ACCA, maybe who is a pursuing or who has completed it, was available and applied for it. There were 3 steps in the interview process. So what were these steps? The first one, as we usually know, is an HR round, where HR usually get to know about yourself, what I'm studying and what I wish to accomplish in my life. Also, they ask like our availability for a second round if they feel like I'm a potential candidate who have the capability to work in the firm. This was pretty much simpler for me. Also, I would like to inculcate here that this whole process of my first interview at Grant Thornton took about 3 to 4 months. So don't lose your desperation, pull down your horses so that you can definitely relax and have patience, even though it might be the case that you may not be able to get the job, but still you must give your wholeheartedly with your highest potential. So my first interview round, or I would say HR round, was in the month of January 2021. I was pretty much excited and these were the basic questions were asked, and I was down for the second interview, that was a technical round. So the technical round was conducted by a senior in the firm. I actually searched it over the LinkedIn that he is a manager in the audit field itself. So usually you get bit of hesitation and goosebumps all around when you have your interview next day. So here, firstly, you should always know that before giving an interview, you must have certain prerequisites, computer requirements such as a webcam, a good microphone, also a desktop or a laptop which can be stable at a point. This can actually help you so that with a with a definite and appropriate internet level of connection. This can actually help to feel us more confident and there won't be any hustle on the day of interview. Now, the technical round was much more smoother than any other round, I would definitely say it. People are very much welcoming, they are willing to hire you, they are willing to explain and they are willing to get you guided all the way of the process. So I was very lucky one over here that I got one of the good soul at the interview. The interviewer at the technical round was very much willing to hire me. Also, he was very much knowledgeable so that he could provide me easy easy examples and case studies all around where I was not able to crack the question or I was stuck. So first of all, various people, I oftenly say that various people don't ask the interviewer the question again. You don't say pardon or repeat the question when they don't understand it. This is the major area of fault, and you get to give different answer from the question asked. So always remember number one point, that whenever you don't understand any of the question from an interviewer, ask them to explain this question so that they can be pretty much more clear. So I remember since it was in the field of audit, I did various IFRS, learned various IFRS standards as well as IAS. Since I gave my FR exam just before, I had like all knowledge, all the examples were into my brain, all the case studies, everything. So usually what they ask, definitely so that you can be a bit comfortable, they will be asking initially some easier questions. For an example, give a journal entry where the goods are lost by fire and you have insurance. So these are some pretty easy questions where you shouldn't be hesitant. However, they try to keep it much more simpler at the initial level so that it can be easier for us to get comfortable with them. They even ask just a simple question, maybe how do you calculate SLM in depreciation or WDV? So these are the questions that you shouldn't do wrong. Definitely remember that. If you have a good knowledge, you will definitely able to get to the another level. So my interviewer was very much clear over here. He usually asked me like, yeah, it was an easier question. Now I'm going to bit advanced. So I was like, okay sir, it's your choice. I'm ready for all rounds. So during the advanced time, he definitely asked me about various IFRS questions, like what do you mean by borrowing cost? What do you mean? What is the major difference in accounting policy and accounting estimate? Another question that I remember was regarding contingent liability and provision. So usually you should remember one thing: whenever you ask about a question, you should definitely explain each and every part of it and try to give an example. There should be a moment where the interviewer says that, okay, I got your point. This actually happened with me. Since I had a deep knowledge about all the IFRS and accounting standards as well as auditing standards, I was very much lucky to explain all my points with examples, so that even though the examiner knows like I'm speaking wrong, he was pretty much sure that the person have a deep knowledge about it. Some bits are usually you are not able to tackle. This is because like we oftenly get nervous at the time of interview, as though the same is happening with making this video. But yes, this happens to us all. Now the case study starts, where the examiner usually gives various account of case studies, like how do you capitalize a borrowing cost, and what do you mean by PPE, what are the various FSAs of financial statements. Now this was the major part of the technical round. So you may get some other questions, but one tip I wanted to give you over here. At the end of the technical round, he asked me 3 most important questions that I felt was the major thing that I was able to tackle this my Grant Thornton interview. First one was, will you be able to work under pressure? So guys, remember one thing: you should never say that you won't be able to work. Also, you should cite an example so that you could prove it. He asked me, okay, I explained him, yes, I can work with dedication even at the time of the pressure, which I am capable of doing. Since it is an auditing field, you require to have bits trained during the time of busy season. But he told me to cite an example to it. Since I was full-time doing my BCom honors and part-time my Chinese Mandarin language. I explained him the process, like how difficult was it for me to manage my part-time course exams as well as my full-time while studying ACC as well. So he was pretty much impressed looking about my schedule. He asked me like, how do you manage time? What is the major chunks of your day being spent at? Also, he told me to have a good hobby in it, maybe where you can relax. So I told him I like playing guitar, I like walking. So like he was pretty much convinced with it. Second most important question he asked, are you a team player? So what do you mean by team player? Usually in the corporate, when you are asked to work with the client, you have a good team all around. So that team helps you to tackle all of the different parts. In case the work is allocated to all the members, all have to do their work and get the collated version to the manager so that they can review it. So the team player one question was very much important to me, as well as he told me again to cite an example to give me a proof like you are a team player. So at the time of the college, I was part of various societies, maybe like entrepreneurship society or economic society. So I told him like I was a leader at one of my events. I managed everything. I managed the team, logistics, everything which I can do so that the event get to the great success. And eventually it happened to be my best event I ever conducted. So he was pretty much convinced with it and told me to shout out for yourself. Third most important question he asked me over here. How will you take out time for your family if you work whole day? Now, in the initial two questions, I told him like I'm a team player. I'm studying all the time. I like playing a guitar. But the third most important thing he asked me, are you able to take out time for your family? Though corporates, they don't believe in taking out family, eventually seeing, but the person or the interview at the Grant Thornton was pretty much friendly to me, and he said to have an important and a crucial time you should maintain with your family as well, so that there could be a good life balance, work-life balance I mean. I answered him again. This time I got a bit hesitant, since though I spent a lot of time with my family, but my previous two answers was highly exaggerated, that he was convinced in such a manner that I'm just working for myself and no one else. However, I told him like during the time of events or the festivals, I usually take off and spend a lot of time with them. At the time of weekend, Sunday, I usually watch a television or movie or go out to some place with them. And on my weekdays, I have to have my dinner with my family, so that all of them can discuss each other's problems and get to tackle the solutions at the dining table. Though this was a made up answer, still he was pretty much convinced, and I was very much happy to know, like he said, you are good to go. He just said this. Though it was a difficult time, I got a bit hesitant, but I like the face of the interview, and you get to know, yes, you have finally accomplished something. Interviewer was very much happy. He definitely asked another thing. Do you have any questions for myself? Here you should remember one thing, that this is your one major opportunity to ask the question to a manager. That should be pretty much convincing that you are interested in job. Also, you are interested to know more. You have some curiosity and ambitions as well. So I asked him a question. How did you become CA, and what were the challenges you faced while being in Grant Thornton? The interviewer was very much happy to know like someone actually asked me a good question. He told me the same. He explained like he became CA just by a tragedy after doing his science Also, he told me while being at Grant Thornton, he faced bit of the challenges, but he was able to tackle with patience and dedication. So he informed me like you should do the same. Well, this was pretty much my technical round. Another round you usually enter into is partner round. If you clear the technical round, you go to the partner round. Usually people get too much afraid listening the name partner here, but I wanted to tell you one thing. If you get to the partner round, that means you are selected. This was told by partner himself, like if you are sitting with me, you are discussing your problems, I've been giving you solutions. This means you are already have capability, you have good level of skills, and you have good level of potential where you can help the firm to grow and yourself. Partner round was pretty much good. He was very much happy. Also, he explained, gave me some of the motivation to work, and informed me about again work-life balance. This was pretty much for me from Grant Thornton, and I was selected in the month of March as an audit associate. I was really happy to it, and this was my pretty much journey with the Grant Thornton. I hope this story might be helpful to you as well, and your confidence must be at peak. Remember the saying, you should always able to ask the questions in right manner with appropriate expressions. You should also even to tackle difficult questions even though you are not able, you don't know any of the answer. You should definitely say them. You shouldn't make it. You should say them that sir or ma'am, I don't know the answer. These things must be there in your brain before giving interview at any of Big 4, Big 5, Big 6 or any other interview in your life. I hope this video will help you to get through your journey of corporate. Bye bye.